show us that stories have been changed over the years. Let me say something about the discrepancies of our Gospels. And I should just say up front, this is what convinced me that my views about the Bible were wrong when I was in my 20s. When I was diligently studying the New Testament Gospels in the original Greek, I started finding discrepancies. I knew people had said that. I didn't believe it because it was just a bunch of liberals saying these things. So I didn't believe them. But then I started studying. I started realizing there are discrepancies. And once you realize that there, you start finding them. Lots of them. There are important differences among our Gospels that cannot be reconciled with one another. You don't have to take my word for this. Simply read Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John next to each other. The problem is when we read the New Testament, we tend to read all of Matthew. We go from the beginning to the end. It's about the life and death of Jesus. It all, okay, it's the gospel, life and death of Jesus. Then you read Mark, and it sounds like Matthew, life and death of Jesus. Then you go to Luke, it sounds like Matthew and Mark, life and death of Jesus. To John, well, it's a little different, but it's basically the life and death of Jesus. And so it all sounds the same because you're reading them from top to bottom. The way to see that these Gospels are different from each other is not to read them from top to bottom, it's to read them across each other. Read a story in Matthew, then the same story in Mark, and the same story in Luke, and compare them in detail. Do it with the resurrection narratives. Just read for yourself the resurrection narratives and ask yourself, can you reconcile these Gospels? Who goes to the tomb? Okay, some women. Is it one woman or several women? If it's several women, what are their names? It depends which Gospel you read. What do they see there? Do they see a man there, or two men there, or do they see an angel there? Depends which Gospel you read. Was the stone already rolled away from the tomb before they got there, or after they got there? Depends which Gospel that you read. What are they told to do? Are they supposed to go tell the disciples that they're to meet Jesus in Galilee? Or are they to go tell the disciples that Jesus is going to show up to them where they are in Jerusalem? Depends which Gospel you read. Do the women tell anybody? In one Gospel, they don't tell anybody. In the others, they go tell. Do the disciples go to Jerusalem, stay in Jerusalem to meet with Jesus, or do they go to Galilee to meet with Jesus? Now you might say, well, they did all of it. No. Read them carefully. Matthew's Gospel is unambiguous. The disciples immediately go to Galilee, 100 miles away, and that's where they meet Jesus. Luke is explicit. The disciples never leave Jerusalem for over a month where they see Jesus. It's unambiguous. These are rather important differences.